Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Welcome everyone to Spark and Change with Gigi. I'm your host, Giovanna Tartarone, and today I have a special show for you. We're going to be talking about, the holidays are coming, and a lot of us want to create more peace, but we're exhausted. So how do we create that inner peace? And I have a special guest, Dr. Vasiliki here. She is a modern day medicine woman, spiritual teacher, and the founder of Sacred Living Program with over 30 years experience in the healing arts, guiding from Qigong to ingenious ceremony. She guides women through sacred structure, spiritual embodiment, and soul reawakening. Welcome, Dr. Vasiliki. So nice to have you.
Oh, so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. So Dr. Vasiliki was at the summit and she did a beautiful presentation that I thought was so important for her to share with my audience here. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? How did you get into it? All that exciting stuff that led you to really
To where I am.
To where you are today, and you're making a wonderful impact in this world, and you're sparking
you.
change. So I'm so happy and honored to have you here.
Oh, thank you. So, as she mentioned, my journey started long ago. I say that some of us, we're all born awakened, but some of us are put to sleep and some of us are lucky enough to stay awake. So I was one of those people lucky enough to stay awake. And I say that when I was a child, I had imaginary friends and I would go out in the woods with them and they would show me the different trees and plants and what you can eat. And I say I'm still playing with my imaginary friends. We just call them my guides now. And I really awakened to my healing journey when my son was 2 years old and he was diagnosed with hyperactive ADD. And that sent me out into the world of natural healing. And everywhere I went, someone told me to go meet this other person. And each one led me to another place. I met amazing, amazing healers. I traveled all over the world. I was blessed to really just get all of this amazing information that I love to share with everyone. And so that led me on my journey of being a healer.
Yes.
To my awakening like you. And my passion is to allow people to awaken and to understand that each one of us has a healer within us. It's a matter of awakening your healer by believing in yourself. So the first step to your awakening is going,
Yes.
I believe in me. I believe what I feel. I believe what I think. And I'm not going to let external factors change what I believe. This isn't about not going to the doctor or not going to a healer.
Right.
This is about knowing that you're your best healer because no one knows your body like you.
Right. It has to start within.
It always starts within.
And so when it starts within, you also feel like you have more control, right? And I believe, from my own experience, is that when we are under pressure, we are not in alignment with our best self, with our higher self.
Exactly.
And so it's almost like, when you get when you receive a ticket in the mail, like, you passed the red light or you had an infraction, right? Because the result of it is you get the ticket in the mail.
Right.
But in this case, when we're talking about our health, it's like when we're not feeling the inner peace, then it's a signal that we're not on that path that brings us joy. And the only one who can change that path is us.
Right. So the way I explain it from the healing aspect is that, we're multi-layered. We have many different layers to us. And we have our physical, we have our emotional, we have our mental, and then we have our spirit. And we're taught how to take care of our physical body, whether we choose to do what we learn or not. It's
Right.
another story. But
Right.
right, we learn how to keep our mind sharp. We work with our emotions, but we're not taught what keeps your spirit strong. And your
Right.
spirit is what gets you through everything.
Right.
When you're sick, when you're stressed, it's your spirit. So when we talk about that inner peace, what we're really talking about is reconnecting with your spirit.
Right.
And we do that in our moments of quiet. We do that when we sleep. We also do that when we are what I call in aligned with our truth. So your truth is, I visualize as this white light in the center of your being, and everything that makes you happy keeps that light strong. Everything that is not in agreement with your truth and you surrender to it, it takes a piece of your truth away from you. So we start as a young child, and your truth is, I want to be free. I want to play. I want to wear these clothes. I want to eat this food. I want to eat when I'm hungry. I want to go to sleep when I'm tired. And you're told what to do. I don't care if you're not hungry, eat anyway. I don't care if you're not tired, get in bed. And that's the beginning of giving up your truth. And then we're conditioned into thinking that's how life is. And you go out into life believing that you have to conform. And every time that you conform, you're taking yourself a little bit farther from your truth. What happens then? Your body starts to tell you something is wrong. You start getting headaches. You start getting stomach aches. Notice whenever children start school, and school is not structured to support your spirit, right? So you go to school, and every September, we have the flu. Why do we have the flu? Because all of these children are being pushed into fear, pushed into control. It's more than they can handle. But a parent doesn't want to say it's okay to stay home and go and start kindergarten later. No, you have to do it. Get them out there. So we have all of these signs that our body's telling us from a child. Then we go off to college, and then we get a job, and you pick a career based on how much you'll make, how people will think, what people will think of you. And or you thought it was your dream, and you get there, and it's your worst nightmare.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
but you went to school for that, so now you're going to stick to doing it. And every day you become a little bit more
Dimmer. Your light gets dimmer.
Your light gets dim. And then what happens is your body starts to speak to you. You become stressed. You become burnt out.
Yes.
If you are living in your truth and you are passionate and doing what you love, you can work 20 hours a day. You will not get tired. You will not get sick. You can work 3 hours a day and hate your job and can't stand the people you have to work for, don't believe in what you're doing. You'll have headaches. You'll be exhausted. And that's when the anxiety starts.
Exactly.
And I really want to clear up this.
The difference.
The difference. Yes.
Tell me.
Stress and anxiety are not the same thing. So stress is your spirit telling you you're doing too much. Slow down.
Yes.
Anxiety is when you have gone so far from your truth, where you're so conditioned to doing what you're told, conforming, pushing to live up to somebody else's expectations, that your spirit starts to drift away. And your spirit, your light is getting dimmer and dimmer. And I say it's like your spirit is now drifting off to sea and treading water, waiting for you to come back and get your spirit. And when you don't, your heart begins to race, sweat comes off your brow because your spirit's dying. So anxiety is not about I'm burnt out and I'm stressed. It's about going inward and seeing, where are you not in your truth in your life? What are you doing that isn't feeding your soul? Where are you getting your happiness? Where are you getting your support?
So let's talk about that, because I feel like it's important to point out where that shows up in your life. So for example, I was born in Italy. Women are told, keep your mouth shut, don't say anything, keep the peace. The men has to go to work, the women have to be in the kitchen. We can't say things. And so I went to school. I came here from Italy, and Again, I didn't know the language. So it was like if we spoke Italian, then we got beat up. We got into fights.
Right.
So there you go again. I had to keep my mouth shut. And it all stems from the nature of my upbringing, right? So, and then I get to work in corporate America, and it's like, oh, I got to do presentations. Oh my God, no way! Like I'll stay in the back room. I don't want to do presentations because, again, once to keep my
You were
mouth
told to keep your mouth shut. Right.
So that became the song, the story that I was telling myself. So I was not fully expressing my soul's desires. And because we're here to grow and express
Yes.
our divinity, who we are, and we get joy from expressing that. So I was holding back. And so, of course, that led to stress, anxiety, being overwhelmed,
sore throats.
So, oh my goodness. Well, I went down that journey like you, having cancer, because I was living in fear. I was like, I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'll be quiet. And that led to like, oh my goodness, I'm afraid I can't even talk because if I talk, it's going to be bad.
Right.
So we all kind of have this, we all go through it. No one's escaping, traumas in their life of different events that occur, but it's how we manage those events that kind of dictate our results in our life.
Right. It's about shifting your belief systems.
Yes.
Right. So you look at your belief systems like programs in a computer. And we take in all these different programs from our parents, from school, from friends, from coworkers. We take in all
some are
of
good,
these,
some are
absolutely,
good. We have to say
absolutely, but some are not. Some don't serve you.
Correct.
And we also take in programs in our DNA. We call that ancestral.
Correct.
So you take in your ancestral, like being Italian, you learn to be obedient, be in the kitchen, serve the man, and you say consciously, no, that's not like that anymore. I don't have to be that way, but it's still pumping through your blood. So you have a conflict. It's like a virus in your computer system.
Yeah.
And so when we start to do our inner work, what I call sacred living, in order to embrace your sacred living, you've got to get to what belief systems am I carrying? What belief systems are still pumping through my DNA?
And sometimes we're not even aware that they're there, right? So I studied Dr. Bruce Lipton. He has the book, The Biology of Belief. I highly recommend it to anyone. And understanding that our beliefs are, at a cellular level, number one, it's until we examine what has been programmed, because we are running, and this is scientifically proven, that we run 95% of the day of everything that we do. If you note it down, you will notice that 95% of what you're doing is the same every day. And sometimes, unconsciously, you don't even know you're doing it. I've had, and I'm sure people can relate to this, you go from your home to your job and you're like, how did I get here? Right? Because your mind is consciously you're somewhere else, but subconsciously you already have a program like how to get to work. But that could be dangerous.
But that becomes life. What happens is you grow up conforming. You go off to college and you have expectations. Then you create your job and you focus on succeeding, focus on being a good parent, a good spouse. And then one day you wake up and say, how did I get here?
So I'd like to also use this word conforming to like wearing a mask, right? You're wearing a mask that is conducive to what society is telling you. Like you just said before, get a good career, make sure you do this and get your education. And these are all masks that we wear so that society can see us as successful. But what's happening inside that we're ignoring, and I say that with all my heart because it happened to me, what we're saying is society is more important than what my spirit wants. And when we do that, is when we get this disconnection and we are under pressure. We are under, pain internally. Like we can smile on the outside.
That's the real burnout.
The burnout
The
is happening.
burnout is happening, right?
Is happening.
When you feel that, you can't wait till it's Friday, or you can't wait till the next vacation, or if I could just sit and have a good cry, none of that is ever going to be enough. Because what's really happening is your body and your spirit are saying, you left me behind somewhere. Come back and get me. Because your body is the messenger. Your spirit talks to you through your body. So if you have a headache or if you have a stomach ache, it's a message from your spirit. It's not an external factor.
Right.
It's internal. So again, that healer within is going to wake up and say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe I'm getting headaches because I'm not living my life the way I want it to be. Maybe I'm thinking too much, or maybe I have a thought in my head that is eating away at me. So we have many different reasons why we have stomach aches, headaches, neck aches. Every one of them is a messenger for you. It's a messenger to say, it's time to wake up to what belief systems is. It's time to delete some of the old programs.
Not only that, it's time to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
We always look on the outside for things to make us happy. And through my own personal journey, it's not things that make us happy.
Yeah.
It's the things that don't cost any money that makes us happy. It's the love, it's the connection, it's being true to ourselves.
True to yourself is the biggest, though.
The biggest one. It starts there. It starts there.
You know what? I'll share the second part of my journey.
Yes.
So here I was plugging along, being that healer, living the life, living my work and bragging about it, so to speak. I was never sick. I took care of sick people during COVID. I didn't get COVID. I could make 21 years old tired. Like, where'd she get her energy from? And then one day in the middle of running a retreat down in Florida, I got a pain. That pain turned into surgery to remove a mass from my uterus. Okay, a week later, superwoman, I was on a plane to Greece because my doctor said I could, to run another retreat, holding space yet for more beautiful beings. But I came back from Greece, and a month later, that mass was growing back. How could this happen to me? And that led me on a journey to India, where I practiced yoga every morning. I meditated by the Ganges River. I spent the afternoon learning Ayurveda and practicing on one another. So I was living Ayurveda. I mean, I was living the life and finding more of who I was, because I thought I knew who I was. I thought I had it all figured out. But what I didn't realize was I was so busy being the healer, being that spiritual leader, being the fearless one, that I forgot to stop and take care of me. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I was feeding my happiness. My soul was saying, yeah, give me more. But there was that part of me, that little inner child that said, hey, you left me behind again. Mm-hmm. And then one day I went into a cave in India called the Cave of Jesus, where it is claimed that Jesus spent his lost years as a young adult learning from the rishis about spirituality. I went into this beautiful cave. I sat down with the vision of, I just can't get out of my head, of Jesus doing yoga. And when I sat down, I broke open. I sobbed and I sobbed and I sobbed from a place I didn't even know was inside of me. And when I came out of that cave, I realized I wasn't crying for myself, but I was crying for the whole world. That we have to try so hard to be happy. Happiness should come naturally. It should be who we are and what we are. And
we're born happy.
Right? And we should find joy in everything, like the innocent child. And that's when I realized that I had a new mission. That my mission was now to teach people how to get into your happy place, how to start unveiling who you really are, and to know that we have all these tools, but so few of us know how to use them. We have the simple tool of our breath. You know, breathwork's the big buzzword now. And I'm so happy to hear that because it's something I've been doing for over 30 years, doing Qigong and then learning in Kundalini yoga. But to really know that your breath can stop your stress, it can stop a freak out dead in its spot. It can get rid of a headache and get rid of a stomach ache. And it's always with you. And the biggest thing about your breath is it empowers you to bring your mind and your heart together.
Right.
So when you have to make that big decision and you learn how to stop and breathe, your breath is what allows you to know that you're in control of your life, that life is not in control of you.
I love what you just said about bringing your brain and your heart together, because only then do we feel that inner peace, right? When there's an alignment, there's an
Yes.
alignment with your thinking a thought and you're feeling the same thought.
Sometimes.
Well, when you are and
Yes.
you're in alignment, for
Yes.
example, like I was thinking of the event, I knew the impact that I was going to have on the event. I knew that it was going to impact lots of people.
Mm-hmm.
And the feeling was mutual. Like I need to do this intellectually because
Mm-hmm.
this is the intellectual. This is, you know, I say the left side, right?
Uh-huh.
This is the right side. I always say the heart is the right side. And when those two are in alignment, then there's no friction. There is no conflict because
There's flow.
There's flow.
There's
Exactly.
Flow. That's what true flow is.
That's what
true
flow is
when your heart and your head can come in, can be in agreement. You know, your heart says, I want to go and I want to give, I want to do this, but your head goes, no, you've got to go do this, you've got to do that. And now you have this fight going on.
Or who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's your breath.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you guys a quick little exercise to do. So just to show you the power of breath and the power of mudras. So just take your ring finger and your thumb and put them together.
Right. Okay.
Ring finger and thumb. And then just close your eyes and take two breaths. Now take your pointing finger and your thumb and put them together. And now take another breath and feel the expansion in your chest. See how much more oxygen you can take in just by switching fingers. This is called Gyan Mudra. And this mudra also connects the head and the heart. Wow, so it allows you, this is why when people meditate, they do Gyan Mudra, because they're closing their circuit off so that their heart and their head can balance as one. And it opens up the chest, it expands, it makes room. It makes room for the head to go into the heart. So something as simple as this that you have with you all the time. And usually you place it up when you're meditating. And then if you really want to concentrate more, you put it down. You put your palms down, rest it on your legs, and it allows you to clear the mind quick. So if you're doing a presentation, you're doing something, Gyan Mudra, downward, and it'll allow you to think clearly so that the head and the heart is in alignment with one another and everything flows easy. So if you're going to do a presentation, you're going on a job interview, it's simple.
You got the tricks now.
You've got the tricks.
You got the tricks.
And another one is called box breathing. And box breathing is actually used by the Navy SEALs. Now, we all know Navy SEALs, they've got to be precise, precision. There can't be any mistakes. There's no room for mistakes. So this is what box breathing does. You inhale for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 4, and you hold for 4. And what this does is this rewires your nervous system. It calms everything down and it reconnects the nerve endings. and with the brain and the nervous system.
That's big.
Yeah. And I mean, and the fact that the Navy SEALs use it to me is even bigger, because we can understand then how powerful it is. So box breath will also instantly calm you down. So
it's the nervous system. I mean, you literally, it's controlling your whole body.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So when you're in fear, you can actually use that.
Yes.
But it's funny because, you know what, the first thing came to mind was, you know, whenever there's been an accident or something, what do they tell you to do? Breathe.
Right.
Or even giving birth, breathe.
Same thing.
Right?
Same thing. So let's just do one round of box breathing, just so you can get a feel for it. So you always want to have your spine nice and straight. So whether you're sitting or standing, close your eyes and just inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth. When we inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth, it cools down the organs, and it releases. It's like a detox of your emotions. When you go in and out through the nose, it heats up the body and it heats up the organs. So there is a reason that you breathe in and out with the nose or the mouth. And also when you breathe in and out through the mouth, that instantly cools down the organs. This is why when you run real fast, like, you're cooling it down, or you see a dog will pant. So again, if we just follow nature, nature will support us. So let's do a little bit of box breathing. Sit up nice and straight, chin up, eyes closed. Inhale for 4. Hold your breath for 4. Exhale out your mouth for 4. And hold your breath for 4. Inhale for 4 through the nose. Hold. Exhale out the mouth for 4. And hold for 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold for 4. Just feel how much calmer you feel. Feel the expansion, feel the calmness. And now you can do as many of these as you want. Can't do too many of them. And I'm going to add a mudra to that now. So if you take your make a fist, keep your thumbs out. Thumbs are how we detox. We bring stuff out. The energy comes out of the thumb. So what you do is you keep your thumbs up. I'm going to just squeeze over there. Okay, here we go. So you want to keep your thumbs up. So thumbs facing each other. You're going to inhale for 4. Then thumbs up, you're going to hold for 4. Then you're going to exhale, thumbs out for 4. Then hold for 4. So it's in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4. And what this does is this actually aligns your spine.
Wow.
Yeah. So now you're resetting your nervous system and you're aligning your spine. And it's simple. You can sit in a bathroom stall and do it if you had to. Let's try it. We're going to do 3 of these. So thumbs in.
Yeah, you show them and I'll do it here.
Thumbs in. Inhale for 4. Thumbs up. Hold for 4. Exhale out the mouth. Thumbs out for 4. Thumbs up. Hold for 4. Inhale. Thumbs in. Thumbs up and hold. Thumbs out and exhale. Thumbs up and hold. Thumbs in. Inhale. Thumbs up and hold. Thumbs out and exhale. Now rub your hands together and bring some fire into the palms of your hands. And then gently place your hands over your eyes and feel the warmth going into your eyes. This helps to ground you. So if you're scattered, you're really upset, you're emotional, just take that nice warmth from your palms and ground yourself. And then come across your head with your hands. And this resets the nervous system. Then bring it down the shoulders, across your arms. Then bring your palms together, thumbs to the chest. Activating your inner peace and sending peace and love out to the world. Inhale. We're going to exhale to the sound of Om. Om. Just feel the inner peace. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
So beautiful. Oh my goodness.
So these are simple little things that you can do. They take less than 5 minutes. And it's a treat to your spirit. It is a way to reconnect with you. You know, when you're scattered and you can't make a decision and your heart's saying one thing, your head's saying another, you stop and you breathe until you get a clear answer. You breathe into that clarity. Then you don't have to the next day go, I knew I shouldn't have done that. I knew it. You don't have to say that anymore. Right. You can say, I took that breath and I made that decision. So whether it feels good or bad or indifferent right now, right, I did what my spirit was ready to experience. Because there is no good and bad. There is no right and wrong.
We label it. We
label it.
Correct.
It's really, everything is an opportunity. An opportunity to experience, an opportunity for growth, and an opportunity to allow somebody else to experience and have growth.
And that's how we learn.
Yeah. And life is about learning. Life is about expansion. Everything we're willing to experience, we grow from. Every time that we grow, our spirit grows. And in oneness, we're one big spirit. We're all interconnected. We're connected to the trees, the mountains. We're connected to one another. We're just a different energy. And when we allow ourselves to expand and to experience and to grow, you are expanding, experience, and growing for everyone, not just for yourself. So if you say, oh, I would love to do this spiritual work, but I don't really have the time, or I'm not important enough to do it, or who am I to do this work? What I'm going to tell you is everyone deserves to do this work. Everyone is important. We are all a part of one another. So everything that we do affects the greatest good.
You're not alone. I always say you think of a pizza pie.
Yeah.
You are a slice of that pie, you know, and when I learned that is when I stepped into this work to realize that what's in me, it's in her, it's in you, and that how I feel impacts the collective.
Yes.
So if I'm feeling stressed, I'm putting stress out into the world. And how does that happen? If, if I can paint a picture, just think of you're stressed and you go home and you start screaming at your kids. So you're affecting your world that you live in by just not connecting
with yourself.
And the whole point of why we're stressed is, you have your PhD, I'm going for my PhD. We are, have so much under our belt in knowledge, but I tell you, I never came across this knowledge when I got my master's in education, my master's in banking. This wasn't exposed to me. It was exposed to me, and I'm being authentic here, when I went down my cancer journey and I started asking, this can't be possible. I did everything according to what society wanted me to do. I got the good job. I went to school. I got the nice family. I got the car. I got everything. I did everything by the book, to realize that it wasn't my book. Right. It was
you were living the book.
I was living the book.
Yes.
So And what I was missing in my life was this connection to my own spirit. We all have one. You can't deny it. You can't
Right.
stand here and say,
Right.
I don't have a spirit, because otherwise you won't be breathing. So,
You know, a good way to embrace that
yes.
is that if you cut off your hand,
Mhm.
you still have an arm, right? If you couldn't move from your head down, you're still here. You still have your mind. But even if you went in a coma and your mind isn't working, your body's being held together with machines, you're still there. And when you come back, you're still there.
Was somebody just, it came across me that you say that. I saw something that said, if you're dying, I believe it was, your head is still functioning, and no, yeah, and you, let's say you had a concussion, and so your head is still working, and you're still breathing. What's making you know that you
Your
had
spirit.
it's your
Your
spirit,
spirit's
it's
still
your
there.
consciousness.
Your spirit has not disconnected yet, right? Your
Correct.
consciousness.
Correct. So it's consciousness that we all have it, that either we are aware of it or we're not. And if we're not aware of it, we're not utilizing it to live authentic life, because we're thinking we have to do everything. We have to make it happen. It's got to be us. And again, my journey led me to understand I don't do anything without spirit. It's spirit guiding me. And I had to learn that through my own transformation. But the way I got to learn this is by accepting, by learning, and by stepping into something that just did not sound like I wasn't taught about it, but I was ready. I was curious. Like, even though it didn't sound right, it was kept, and we don't get exposed to it unless we come to
the key to connecting with your spirit is what I call the pause. It's stopping, pausing, and taking a breath and connecting. When you're willing to take that pause, and it doesn't have to be for 20 minutes or a half hour. It's like, when you tell the little child, go take 5.
Yeah.
That take 5 is your pause.
Right.
So when you're willing to embrace your breath and take your pause, you are on your journey to truly embracing who you are and starting to feel and see the sacredness of who you are, because every one of us is sacred. Every one of us has a special mission. There's a reason that you're here. And you can't feel the reason, you can't hear the reason if it's too noisy. You get your answers, you get your strength in the stillness within you. And you go there simply by breathing.
Absolutely. And getting to that point is making a commitment to yourself.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it's a very big commitment to yourself.
It's a big commitment to yourself.
But I also feel that, and I say this all the time, a commitment to yourself is really a true commitment to everyone. Because we are tricked into believing, if I do this for this person and that and this and this, and then if I'm busy, then I'm a good person, right? But then what happens is that you think you're giving all of yourself to everyone, but you're only giving a tiny bit to each one. And then you're burnt out and they resent that you can't give more. So, and that comes with not really knowing what worthiness is. To own your worth
that's a big one.
Is to own the impact that you have on others. It's not how much you make or what car you drive or how loud you can speak up for yourself. It's about your actions. It's about, how does me sitting next to you affect you? If I own my worth, sitting next to you is going to feel good. It's going to be positive. It's going to feel, oh, great, you're here. If you don't own your worth and you're tired and you're burnt out and you're giving so much to everybody because you're trying to prove your worth, you don't prove your worth, you are your worth. Your actions are your worth. And you don't have to go out and do and do and do and do. That's being a doer. That's not being your true authentic self. That is not what's going to make people happy. What makes people happy is when you're happy, when you feel good about yourself, and when you're vibrant. So in Ayurveda, they call this the atmosphere. So everything around us, we're all made up of energy, right? The only difference between me and you is the frequency that we vibrate.
Right.
Now, everything in this room also has a frequency. So if you are in a space that the frequency is low, your frequency is going to get low. If you go out, this is why we go out in nature, because nature always has high frequency.
Yes.
Right? So this is why we say go out in nature to heal, because nature will uplift your energy. But if you look around, and I really invite you to do this, what atmosphere are you putting your spirit in? Your being? Are you where you're supported? Are you around people that are positive? Are you uplifting? Are you in a relationship that uplifts you? Are you uplifting others? Are you uplifting your children? If not, what's your worth? It's not your car. It's not your house. Your worth is what you take with you. And the only thing you take with you when you leave here is your spirit.
So beautifully said. Yeah, no, it's a different teaching, right? We have to retrain ourselves.
Yes.
This is not the way we get trained. We get trained that everyone is more important than we are. We know how to take care of others people, but we don't really know how to take care of ourselves. And when we take care of ourselves is when our worth starts to change and say, you know what? I am important today. I'm going to go out in nature, regardless of, the other stuff I have to do. I'm going to take a half hour to myself.
Even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If you say, I'm so busy, I have 3 kids and I'm taking care of an ailing parent and I still work a full-time job, 1 minute at a time, 2 minutes at a time. A pause doesn't take much longer than that. So when you take that pause and you go into that, okay, I'm here and I'm okay, you've just supported yourself. And that 1 minute will become 2 minutes, will become 3 minutes, et cetera, et cetera. But always remember, there's always time for a pause. Even when you think you don't have time, you always have time for the pause.
And the truth of all of this is, you may think it's not affecting you. It's okay. I don't have time.
It is affecting.
But like you said before, your body talks to you. Your body will say to you when you are feeling stressed, anxiety, you don't have clarity, you're under pressure. That's how your body talks to you.
And even good stress, right? So I didn't have bad stress. I was loving life. I was loving what I did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't taking that pause for myself.
Right.
I wasn't spending enough time listening to myself because I was too busy listening to everyone else.
Right.
So we really want to take that time to have that pause and reconnect with yourself.
When we talk about the inner work now, so let's say somebody said, okay, you know what? I watched this show. I'm going to do some of these exercises. I'm, especially the New Year's coming, I am going to take care of myself, because you have people saying, New Year resolution. I'm going to, totally focus on me this year. Help the audience to understand, this is what they can do at home, right? But there's this whole part about personal development, this whole part about, growing to understand, how we work, how to change the beliefs and how to, tackle these thoughts that come to our mind. They're like, oh my God, if I need to stop thinking this. So how do we train ourselves to, grow out of these old beliefs or
Okay, so it's a process. It's
yes,
not,
it's
we
inner
just,
work, but it's a
right, it's
process.
inner work and it is a process. So that is what part of my Sacred Living program is about,
Tell us.
is all about what I call perception shifters and stories you tell yourself.
Mhm.
So we start to, when you do your inner work, you start to journey into what stories am I writing? Our life is a story, right?
Right.
And we tell ourselves the story that I'm too busy, the story that I can't, the story that it's too late. We have so many stories we tell ourselves that don't really serve us, but we heard them from somewhere, we saw them somewhere, and we're believing them and we're operating from them. So the first thing you want to do is you want to say, what stories are not serving me anymore? I think one of the greatest signs I ever bought, and I lived by it, was a sign that said, I want a life as good as my children. And I laughed and I said, you know what? It's so true. Like
Right.
we were telling ourselves, I want my child to have a better life than me, right? Every
Yeah.
parent says that.
Right.
Why does your child deserve that life and you don't? And that is a story. That's a story that we tell ourselves. We want our children to have a better life. How about we both have a better life?
Right. It's like almost saying, "Oh, my parents sacrificed for me."
Exactly.
And for those who say that, now I challenge you to say, was that a good thing that they sacrificed for you?
Exactly.
Is it a good thing that they didn't get to enjoy their life, but you are? No,
It's a story. It's a story that they
story,
believed.
right?
The story that
Mhm.
I have to sacrifice to be a parent. I'm
Right.
not a good mother if I don't put my children first. This doesn't mean go out and abandon your children, but what it says is, how about nurture yourself as much as you nurture your children?
Right.
So it's there's lots of stories out there that are rolling around in the back of your head that you
Mhm.
don't even know that were still a story. There's
Yeah.
stories you take on from when you were young, right? So I had a story that I didn't fit in because I grew up poor, but I grew up poor in a rich neighborhood. So we were always told we were the poor ones. I even went to church and was told, you're lucky we let your kind in here. And I remember asking my older sister, what kind are we? Like, I didn't know what that meant, and then realizing, like, later in life, like, I would join the gym all the time and I wouldn't go, and I love to work out, but I felt so uncomfortable in the gym because somewhere in my mind, it was still saying, you don't belong here. You don't belong. So to think that something that was said to me when I was 6 years old in church, that story stayed with me.
Right.
So how many stories have you been told? I don't, whoever that old lady was that didn't want us to make noise in church, she didn't realize how much she affected my entire life.
Absolutely.
So we have lots of stories. And so there's work that you do. There's meditations, there's journaling, there's breath work, there's somatic work that we do where we breathe and we do movement and we dance to bring out these stories.
And I love to also add to that, my understanding, this is how I, had my own transformation, is I needed to release those energies, those bad energies of those stories that I kept telling myself. Was just energy, right? Was thoughts that I had that I kept running, because a belief is a thought that you keep running through your mind
That's
over
right.
and over and over again,
Like a record.
that you believe it's true. And I tell you, one of them is, I'm going to make everyone laugh, but I was going to Catholic school when I came here from Italy, and my dad was paying Catholic, tuition for all of us. There's 5 of us. There's only 3 of us going to Catholic school at the time. And he would say, you better drink that milk. If you don't drink the milk when you come home, and I know when you don't drink it, because they're going to tell me, if you don't drink it, you're going to get a beating when you get home. So I used to drink milk from school, at school, during lunch, holding my nose, that little container of white milk, and drinking it. And do you know that I refused to drink any milk as soon as I got the opportunity to say, even to today, I don't like milk. But that memory, those experiences led me not even to feed my kids milk, because I didn't want to eat the taste of it. It's just one of those things that it was so embedded. And then the story I was telling myself, I don't like milk because I gag. That was the
That was your
story.
story.
That was my story. And if you tell me you had vanilla ice cream, I didn't touch it. If you had cottage cheese, I didn't touch it. If you had anything yogurt, I didn't touch it, because I would say I would gag.
Right.
But it was that
It was a
bad.
story.
It was a story from an experience that I had, that I created the story, and my whole family went along with me. Like, we can't make this because she doesn't like milk, and it went on and on and on and on. And so we all have a story, like you said.
We all have stories.
We all have
I'm not good
stories.
enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not fat enough. I'm not, I'm not. And it doesn't matter where the story came from. It matters that you become aware of the story and you replace it.
And you
Because
make a decision.
right, you make that decision. But if you just say, I'm not going to have that story anymore, you leave an empty space in there, and that story comes floating back in.
Yes.
So you want it, when you make that conscious effort, you're going to shift that energy, but now you want a new energy in there.
Yes.
Otherwise you have an empty space, and it's going to seep back up.
Yes. And so we make our decisions,
Mhm.
all our decisions, based on our stories, based on our emotions.
And we
right?
write a chapter on each story.
Correct. And so understanding that you are the author of your story,
Yes.
and if you're ready to change, it's an internal job. And
Mhm.
so making that decision, once you do, like, I promise you, and people know this story, I went to church to light up some candles before my surgery. And I said, God, if you give me another chance, I will change. I promise
Right.
you I will change.
Mhm.
And when I woke up from surgery, I opened my eyes. That was my commitment. And so I went on this path of finding, how can I change the way I was thinking in order to just be more mindful and honor myself, because I know how I got there.
Mhm.
And that's another thing, is understanding where you are and how you got here. And not that you need to focus on it, but once you have that awareness, what took me to that place of feeling sick,
Mhm.
now I can make a commitment to myself that I'm going to change to never go back there again.
Right.
So-
Something I'd like to say is that, we have these tragedies or illnesses that come in our life that spark us to change.
Yes.
But you don't have to wait. You don't have to
Oh,
wait.
yes.
You don't have to
Yes,
wait
I said that before.
until you end up in a divorce or end up with an illness or a car accident to make a change.
That's exactly why I'm doing this show.
You can create that spark right now. You can sit and say, I am ready. I'm ready to change. I don't want to live my life stressed out, chasing deadlines and living a list, because that's not living your life. To be able to shift your mind and shift that program to say, I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to be excited about what the day has to offer me. I'm going to be happy that I have a car to drive in. I'm going to be happy that I have bills to pay because I have them. If I didn't have the house, if I didn't have the electric, I'd have no bills, but would I be happy? So there's lots of things that you can do right now to say, I'm not content with what's happening in my life right now. I'm not happy with how my body feels. I'm not happy that I get up in the morning and I dread going to work or going to school. Life isn't meant to be that way. When we stop and we pause and we look and we think, like, they're right in front of you that says, oh, that's what's keeping me from being happy. Wow, I didn't even realize I still had that story going on. And you start to realize that when you get rid of the stories that no longer serve you, and you can do this with breath work, with somatic work. Somatic is like where you breathe and you move. So you're breathing and you're moving the body. And what you're doing is you're moving those traumas and you're moving those old stories and those old beliefs out of your system. And when you do this, and when you go to an energy worker and you have energy work done, the energy worker's doing the same thing. They're helping you to move the guck, to get you unstuck, to give you the ability to say, I'm ready to light my fire. Each one of us has a flame inside of us, and it's sitting there, and sometimes it's dancing, and sometimes it's like, somebody come blow on me again, because it's just sitting there waiting for you to say, I'm ready for my spark. I am ready to open up and live.
Yes.
Not get on the conveyor belt of life, but to truly live.
We can all do that. And it really comes down to making a decision. Yeah. So final words, we're going to take it down for a landing.
Okay. So my final words are, I open you right now. I challenge you to let that spark open up. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes for a second. And I'm going to do a little energy work for everyone on this call and everyone watching the recording to awaken up the spark in you. I am going to call in the energy of Archangel Gabriel and ask Archangel Gabriel to bring forth the light that you can express who you are. So take a nice deep breath in and blow it out. And just place your hands on your heart. And I'm going to do some toning. So it's like tuning in a tuning fork when you tune a piano. I'm going to tune you into your higher frequency, to your higher self, to awakening your spark and your change. Welcome the presence of Archangel Gabriel into your energy field, cleansing your heaviness, clearing a path so that you may embrace your inner light and know that each of us was born to shine that bright light. That is how we express the divine. Through our happiness, through our joy, through sharing, caring, and compassion. Namaste.
Beautiful. Namaste. Beautiful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. This is a beautiful ending. Thank you for joining us again. And how did they contact you if they want to get in touch with you?
You can contact me at teachingspirit.com, or I'm going to give you a link. I'll give you a link that you could put in
I will add a link in your
Okay.
bio. Okay.
Yeah. We'll add a link that I offer a free blissful reset. I run them about every 2 weeks. Just sign up and register whenever you're available, and I will teach you more breath work and more ways that you can start to awaken your spark. And I'm going to share with you about sacred living and some sacred living retreats. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.